Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily if it is your first time here, and in today's video we are going to be doing my project pan update. I feel like this last round of my project pan went really well. Like, I feel like the list of stuff that I have is very long. Like, I think every single product from the last one was replaced with something, and I just feel very proud of that. So without a super long intro and getting all rambly, let's jump into the video. Alright, so the very first thing that I hit my usage goal on was the jcat Beauty Aura Glow liquid highlighter in the shade White Goddess. I actually really enjoyed using this highlight. So an interesting thing about the formula is that it's kind of oily. So when I first brought this into this project, I was scared that it was going to like lift my makeup up underneath it when I like applied this on top. So I was hesitant to use it, and I wasn't using that much, and I was like being very strategic and careful about how I applied it. But as it was in my project for longer and longer, I realized that it did not do that. Like, it didn't disturb any of the makeup underneath it, so I was like more willing to use it, and I ended up really enjoying this highlighter. I think it is really pretty. It gives a really gorgeous glow. Another little concern that I had when I first rolled this in is that I thought it kind of left a white cast on my face, and maybe it was just the products I was using it with then when I thought that it was doing that, but towards the end I didn't notice that at all. And also, maybe I just got used to it. I did not notice any sort of a white cast in it at the end. I actually really enjoy this highlighter, and I was considering decluttering it, but now I'm excited to keep it around in my collection. When I hit my goal on that, I rolled in the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. I'm gonna try to get this all to one side so you can see how much is in here. So that is how much powder is left in this. And as we are talking, this is currently in my project pan, and I have used this 18 times, and that is how much product is left. That is so crazy. I actually used up some things, which is crazy because I don't set my usage goal in this project to use things up. I set it as a number of uses that I want to get out of it, and I'm like using things up, and that's very exciting to me. So I only have 2 more uses left for this, but after I roll it out officially, like on paper roll it out, I might just keep it in just to like completely use it up. Alright, so then the next thing that I hit my goal on is the Morphe 39A shade Canvas, which we're gonna talk about it for a minute because I thought it was a shade down here, which I depotted, and then it broke, and then it had to repress it. It's a whole mess. As you can see, I keep trying to depot shadows from this palette. They just don't depot, so I need to stop trying. But I thought that the shade Canvas was this shade down here. It is not. This is actually the shade Sculpt. This is the shade Canvas, but I used this shade. So the shade Sculpt, I did use that one 20 times, and I hit my goal on it. This shade was very strange to use because I felt like I used so much of it, because for some reason that middle row of shades in this palette are like not very pigmented at all, and I actually do quite enjoy the Morphe eyeshadow formula. I think that they apply really nicely. It's a nice, easy to work with formula, but that middle row of the neutral brown beige shades just are not amazing. Like, they don't have a lot of payoff to them. I felt like I had to build the color up so much, and not in a nice, like, easy to work with buildable formula. It was like in a bad way where there was like no pigment. But I did end up using that shadow 20 times, and I replaced it with a shade that is currently in here, and that is the ColourPop shadow in the shade Silhouette from the All That palette. It is this shade right here in my little singles palette, and I actually have quite a good dip going in this. I have been using this most days, since I've rolled it in, as I'm filming this, which I'm filming this on Monday, I have used this shade 11 times. So I feel like I'm making really good progress on this so far. I have quite a nice dip going in this shade. I think it's a really pretty color, and I'm finding that it's a lot more versatile than I thought that it was, because it looks like a very intense, deep, like mulberry shade, but I find that it actually shears and blends out really, really, really nicely, and it actually works very well with all the other eyeshadows that are currently in this rotation. So next I hit my usage goal on the Queen Studios Dragon Wax liner. This liner, I have a love-hate relationship with it. It is a really nice and creamy pencil liner, and I do enjoy smoking it out on my upper lash line. That's how I wore it most times when I was wearing it in the project, but I did not like wearing it to line my tight line with. It did not stay in place. It would just bleed out the corners of my eyes, which is my biggest pet peeve when it comes to black pencil liners, because most of them do that on me and there's only a select few that do not, and it's very, very frustrating. The one thing that I will say about it doing that is that it was really easy to fix. When that happens, I could just kind of smudge it up and like make it look like a little bit of a winged liner, and it was fine. But if I put it in my tight line, I want it to stay there all day. So this is gonna stay in my collection, and I'm, you know, gonna use it, but I'm not like the biggest fan of it. And then what ended up replacing that liner is my Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This is amazing progress, y'all. Look at this. There is such a small amount of this concealer left. I've been using this as my eyeshadow primer for like 2 years. So I don't like to wear this on my face. I don't think that it looks great on my under eyes, so I actually just wear it as an eyeshadow primer, and it's not an amazing eyeshadow primer either, and that's why I want to use it up to be able to get it out of my collection. Hopefully that is very soon. Again, once I hit my usage goal on this, I might actually just end up keeping it in the project so that I can completely use it up. Right now I have used it 11 times. I hit my usage goal on the shade Kreuzberg from the Nomad Cosmetics Berlin Underground palette, which is this light kind of satiny green white shade up in the corner. I basically used this shade almost exclusively as an inner corner highlight. I thought it looked really pretty like that, and I honestly was just using it with like every single eyeshadow look. Like I was throwing it on with warm tones, cool tones, blues, purple, like literally everything. And I have a really, really good dip going in this palette, which I'm very proud of. And I wore it as an eyeshadow topper a few times, like just kind of like put it on over a different shade, and it didn't like do a whole lot when I did that, but like it got me a use of it. So whatever. And then I ended up replacing that with another shade from my Morphe 39A palette. I have pulled so many shades from this palette since I've started this freaking project. Half of them have not actually made it in because I've destroyed the eyeshadow trying to like depot them, but you know, I've pulled so many of them. And this is the shade Passion, which is actually really, 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 really similar to the shade Silhouette. So I've been kind of having a hard time using both of these and incorporating both of them into looks because they are seriously basically the same shade. Passion from the Morphe palette is like the tiniest bit darker, but like when I say darker, it's not like it has more depth to it. It just like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like it's just a tiny bit darker, but they're essentially the same color. So I've been having not the easiest time incorporating both of those shades into looks, but I have used the shade Passion 6 times so far. All right, the next thing that I hit my usage goal on was another eyeshadow, and it is the shade BG1 from the Makeup by Mario Bronzey Glam Quad, which is this shade right here in the upper corner. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see, but I have a really good dip going in this. This shade, again, I was using basically just as a brow bone and inner corner highlight, but I really enjoy having shades that I use like that in my project pan because it makes it really easy and like thoughtless to incorporate into looks. And then I replaced that with the shade Coral Amber from the Nabla Coral Cutie palette, which is a shimmer, and it is this shade right here. It actually has a little bit of hard pan in it, which hard pan in shimmers is so strange because the pan doesn't actually harden. It just like the shimmer kind of just like clumps together, and it's just like a little strange. So it's like not like I can't currently use the shade, it's just odd. This shade is an interesting formula. I do enjoy the Nabla shimmer formula. They have a few different ones. I really love their kind of like more drier iridescent topper formula, and this formula, I would not say that it's like my favorite formula because it feels like it just wants to grip to the first like bit of skin that it touches, which I know is like a really weird way to word that, but it ends up being my finger because I apply most of my shimmer shadows with my finger. So I just actually swatched this, and as you can see, there is so much of this shade left on my finger, and you can't really see from this swatch, but it doesn't swatch like very opaquely. So I like literally have to use a glitter glue with this shade every time that I use it, which I don't mind, but some days like I just don't think to use the glitter glue. Like today I didn't think to use it, and the shimmer like didn't really stick to my eyelid that well, which is a little bit frustrating, but I think the shade is so pretty that like I am willing to put in the work for it. So it's not like a huge deal, but it is like a little bit annoying and makes me want to not reach for it as much. This is probably my proudest moment from this rotation, but I finally hit my freaking usage goal on Side Effect, and it actually has a little bit of a dip. I know that I kind of like destroyed that shadow, and there's like weird texture and hard pan in it, but there is a little bit of a dip in it, which I'm very proud of. I ended up using this just really sheerly kind of as a transition shade, and it got the job done. It got me to my usage goal. I will never try depotting one of these eyeshadows ever again. I kind of have a running list in my head at this point of the shadows that I can depot from non-magnetic palettes and the shadows that I can't. And Morphe 39A mattes, Pure and Raw Beauty Kristi, cannot depot those bad boys. I just cannot. They will get immediately destroyed. I replaced Side Effect with the shade Ember from my Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. This is another unpotable, what is it called? Undepotable. Undepotable palette. I cannot depot these shades, so it just stays in there, but it is the shade right here. This shade is actually one of the coolest eyeshadows in my collection. It has a black base to it with this kind of like red shift to it. It's really an interesting shade. I think it's really, really cool. And I haven't used this like on its own on my lid since it's been in my project yet, but that is another really fun way to wear this shade. That is after I wiped the swatch off. That black base just kind of stays there. I have been, so far, the 3 times that I've used this shade since it's been in my project, it has been as a deepening shade, like in the outer corner, or to like smoke out a liner, something like that. But I really do love that shade. I think it's one of the most unique shades that I have in my entire eyeshadow collection. So I'm excited to continue incorporating that into looks. All right, here's an exciting one. This little thing of the bareminerals original liquid mineral foundation. I did in fact use this up. I cannot get anything else out of it. Well, I actually probably could, but like this little spatula that is in it is not long enough to like reach to the bottom of the little component that it's in, so I cannot get any more product out. I have tried and tried and tried. Nothing else will come out. So this is going into the empties bin. You will see that in an empties video coming to you very soon. But I know that was just a little mini sample, but I did count it as like its own thing in like my makeup rotation and inventory and stuff. So it's exciting that that is getting removed, even though I'm pretty sure I am going to buy the full version of that foundation. I really liked it. I did not think I was going to like it as much as I actually did. It was just like basically my perfect everyday foundation, and I've kind of been missing it since I've used it up a few days ago, so I definitely want to buy the whole thing. When I rolled that out, I replaced it with the NYX Epic Wear liner stick in the shade Pitch Black. This, I kind of have the same feelings about it as I do the Queen Studios liner. I enjoy the way that it wears on my top lash line. This one definitely has a lot better staying power smoked out than the Queen Studios one does. So hard to say. But it still does smudge a little bit when I wear it in my tight line. It's definitely not as bad as the Queen Studios liner, but it still does smudge, so it still like gets on my nerves a little bit. It is nowhere near as bad as the Queen Studios one, but it's still like not perfect for me. I realized I skipped a product. I used up another product, and that is my NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Stockholm. I seriously like cannot get hardly any more product out. I managed to swatch it, but as you can see, it's not like an opaque swatch. It's kind of just like very sheer. When I pull the applicator out, there is basically no product on here. I loved this shade. As you can see, it is like just the peachy lip color. I love this lip formula. I have like 5 of these in a bunch of different shades because I just think the formula is so great. This is going into my empties. And I like to keep a lipstick continually in my project. So the lipstick that I replace that with is this YSL Le Rouge lipstick in the shade, no, the YSL Rouge Pour Couture lipstick in the shade Le Rouge 01. It is a red lipstick, and it is the lipstick that I currently have like smudged all over my lips. I love wearing red lipstick, and I love having red lipsticks in my Shop My Stashes and my project pans, because for me, I find that red lipsticks are super versatile. I can, you know, wear them at their fullest opacity. I can put it like at its full opacity in the middle. I can smudge it out like I did this, and then I can do like the popsicle, like just ate a popsicle smudged bitten lip. So I can like get like 4 different sort of lip looks out of like just having this one lipstick. And I find that red lips basically go with everything. It is, in my opinion, a neutral lip, and I find that it looks amazing on every skin tone. Obviously there are different undertones to different red lipsticks, but I just think red lipstick is a must-have, and I really enjoy this lipstick. It is a very creamy formula, so it isn't super long wearing, but it is so comfortable on the lips, and it's just a really good lipstick, and I enjoy it. And then last but not least, I hit my usage goal on the St. Luxe lip liner in the shade Love Letter. This lip liner, I basically just exclusively used only this for like a while. I actually didn't have to end up sharpening it at all, which is a little bit surprising. It was getting to the point where it needed to be sharpened, but like it was still usable not being sharpened, so I wasn't about to sharpen it. But I actually ended up replacing that with another lip liner, and this is the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in the shade Sandstorm. It is the lip liner that I'm wearing right now. If you can see, I kind of have like a contoured lip effect going on. This is what I did the lip contouring with. It is a really pretty like light cool toned brown, but it's not so light that you can't see like the contoured effect when you apply it. I definitely can still see like the coolness and like the contoured lip look when this is on. But what I will say about this formula is that it's not the most pigmented lip liner. I know that I have rambled on and on about how I don't like my lip liners to be super creamy, because then I find that it doesn't do anything to like prevent bleeding, and it can kind of just like contribute to the problem sometimes. But there comes a point where a lip liner is like a little bit too firm, and this is like almost there. I love my NYX lip liner. Oh, smacked myself in the nose. I love my NYX lip liners. The Suede Matte formula is not actually my favorite NYX lip liner formula. I love just their normal NYX pencil lip liners. Like, they're literally just called lip liner. They have no suede matte, like nothing. It's just lip liner. I love that formula and I think it's so great, and this formula is okay, but I do find that it is like almost too stiff for me, and I love a stiff lip liner, so that's saying a lot. And that is it for this update video. I hope you enjoyed. I feel really proud of the progress that I've been making on my project. I'm so sorry if you can hear my fiance snoring in the background. He's cuddling the puppy. I gotta take a picture because it's so cute. But that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe before you go. And hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye.